Okay, we're here today to ask mom and dad questions about their lives and their stories. We want to know about where they were born and things about when they were growing up and when their life throughout their whole life. Okay, so the question is for mom first. Where were you born?
I was born in Churincio, Michoacán, Mexico.
Dad, where were you born?
Yuma, Arizona.
Where did you grow up, Mom?
Well, I grew up till the age of 10 years old in Fresnillo, Zacatecas, and 1 year in Mexicali, Baja California.
Dad, where did you grow up?
Well, I was growing up in Yuma all my childhood.
Okay. Who were your parents and your siblings?
My mother's name was Victoria Arroyo. My dad, I did not know him until the age of 10 years. His name's Andres Arroyo. And I have 2 sisters and 1 brother, Ignacia, Petra, and Frank.
And Dad, who were your parents?
Ramon and Victoria.
And your siblings?
I was Frank, Henry, Ray, Ernest, Jesse, and myself, and one.
And you had sisters?
Sisters was Carmen, Stella, and Margaret.
Okay. And were you the baby?
No, because Ramon was the baby.
Oh. And Mom, were you the baby?
Yes.
How long did you live in Mexico, Mom?
11 years.
11. And how did you come to the United States and why?
Well, we came from Fresnillo, Zacatecas in a bus all the way to Mexicali. And we lived there a year, and from there we came to the United States.
And once you got to the United States, where did you come? What part?
We lived with my uncle in Elsinore for about a year. That's where I went to school. And then I moved to Corona and went to school in Corona, junior high. And from there we moved to Stockton, California, and that's where I did my last year in school.
So you went to high school or junior high in Stockton?
Junior high. I did not go to high school.
What grade did you last go to?
10th grade. During that time, 10th grade was still junior high.
Oh, wow. When you arrived to Elsinore, did you go to Elsinore Elementary or?
I went to Elsinore Elementary, and I did not know English. I used to listen to the kids speak in English, and I thought I knew how to speak, so I would also speak English, but my brother said, don't speak English. But I did anyway. I used to say, hey, give it to me for her. That means give me that for her.
Was there a story that goes with that? Why did you say that?
Well, whenever we were in the bus and the kids used to give me something to give to somebody else, that's when I used to say, well, give it to me for her. But they understood.
And what did Theo Frank say?
Nothing. They were very helpful. They understood.
No, Theo Frank. Why did he say that?
Frank. He said, don't speak English.
Did he speak better English?
Oh, he did. Yeah, he had been here before I was here, and he learned fast.
Okay. And Dad, how long did you live in Arizona?
Well, until I was probably 16 years, I guess. 17, something like that.
And then you came, where did you go after?
I came to India, but before I came to India, I had a job on the 11 telegrams. And I did that for a whole year, school and after school, Saturday and Sunday, 7 days a week.
Mhm.
And my pay was 75 cents an hour.
Oh, wow. 75 cents. How did you have so you drove a bike?
How old?
No, you drove a bike?
Yes, a bike.
Okay, and when did you learn how to drive a car or anything?
Yeah, I learned Gordo's car. He had a little chuck, and that's where I started learning. And whenever I couldn't do it, I would ask him, "How do you do this and how do you do that?" And put the gears and and all that stuff. And he would show me.
And what you said a chuck? What kind of car was that?
A Model A, probably. I don't know what year though.
Was that a Ford or was that
Probably a Ford.
Okay. And who would you hang around with in your childhood?
Oh well, with my neighbor, he marries my sister-in-law's brother. They call him Baby Boy, but his name was Gilbert.
What about your nieces?
Oh, my nieces I have quite a few.
Did you used to? Are they around your same age?
No, they were smaller, but maybe 2 years smaller. And we used to play everything that you can think of, but most of it was church, playing church. They would put benches and chair, whatever they could find, and I put a little box of grape box or that they used at that time as the pulpit, and then I would just say whatever came to my mind. And the girls wanted to be, I'm Mrs. So-and-so, and stuff like that.
Like people from church?
Mm-hmm.
So your nieces that you would play with, their names were what?
Well, it
were
was
they?
Francis, Beatrice, and then Ernestine, but then Dolores and Apple. And then the neighbors too.
So Dolores and Apple they lived there in Arizona, correct?
Yes, I lived on the street from us.
Okay, so when Ernestine and Francis and them
Came from India.
Oh, okay.
That's when we would play more. They would stay there a week or 2 weeks.
Okay. And what was the names of the schools you went to?
It was 4th Avenue. That was the elementary school, 4th Avenue. And the high school was Yuma Union School.
Yuma Union High
And
School.
the high school was, the name of the football, it was called Yuma Criminals.
Yuma Criminals, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And did you have another elementary school besides the 4th Avenue Grammar School?
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt Elementary. Okay. Why did you come? Because you left Arizona, right?
Yeah, because my sister and the kids wanted me to go live with them because they didn't have any boys over there.
Okay. What other things did you do in Arizona for
Okay.
entertainment?
Well, after I was working and all that, the lady from the church used to go to church visit us. And she used to let us go in free at the theater to go see movies. Me and Jesse would go in our bikes, and we would stay there until the girl says, "Come on," and then we would go in to go see the show free.
Oh, okay. So you had an inside person to get you in there free. Okay. Why did you come to California?
Oh, because the girls invited me to. They had invited me before, but I didn't want to. But then they came again.
Which girls?
Next time, my nieces, Carmen's nieces, Carmen's daughters.
Which is
Francis and sister and Ernie. Ernie was still small. And so I said, well, I'll ask Mom, see what she says. So she said, yeah, if you want to go. So I got my suitcase, put my clothes in there, and we came over to Indio.
okay. So you lived with your sister Carmen?
My sister Carmen.
Okay. Okay, so Mom, where, when you came to the United States, you said you lived in Stockton and you went to Elsinore Elementary and you lived in Corona.
High.
Okay. Who were your friends growing up?
I didn't have very many friends. I had just came from Mexico. I didn't know anybody. But after we started going to church in Stockton, that's where I had some friends. But my mom was very strict. She wouldn't let us go anywhere with no friends or anybody. She was very, I don't know, she just wouldn't let us go to anybody's house.
No, she was really a strict parent. So did you finally make some friends, you said?
I made friends in church, but still, I wouldn't spend nights in their houses like nowadays kids do. I would just see them in church activities, that's it.
Can you tell me a name of one of your good friends?
Yes, she was my very best friend. I only had about 2 or 3, but her name was Alicia. And she never did, she was born in church even before I started going to church, but she never got converted. Unfortunately, I don't know whatever happened to her after I left Stockton.
Any other friends?
No, she was the only friend that I really talked to, and you know. Because me and your and Petra were always together, we didn't need no more friends.
So, how about after you got baptized, you made some friends?
Yes, we had friends in the church, like I said, but my mom was very strict. She wouldn't let us go anywhere. What I had.
When did you meet Carmen?
Oh, Carmen went to up north to pick fruits, and then from there they stopped in Stockton. They used to go to church there. That's where I met her. Now she became my best friend after that. And when I came to Southern California, and she was already living here, well, she was my very best friend until now.
Where and when did you got baptized?
I got baptized in Stockton at the age of 12 years old. That was in February 6, 1949.
And how was that experience?
Well, I really couldn't say that they consider me a child. My mom had to give permission for me to be baptized. She said she would take care of me, but I was nothing to take care of. She was very strict, and we didn't do nothing. So I couldn't really say that I knew the world, that I did this and did that. No. It was fine for me. I had no problems.
When as you were growing up in the church, were you had any positions in the church? Were you a leader of any groups or anything?
Oh yes, after I was baptized, a year later they put me as a Sunday school teacher for the smaller kids. And I was a strict teacher because the parents at that time, when we used to go to church, and when they got to church, they were no longer the parents. I was the teacher and I was you tell them what to do. And they obey me.
Oh wow!
And I like that because nowadays, oh brother,
Did the parents get upset?
and at the age of 15, I was the church treasurer.
So you were in charge of the
I'm
treasury.
the treasurer in the church. It wasn't too much money that time. People didn't earn very much, so I didn't have any problem with that.
Do you guys know what the minimum wage was at that time?
At that time, it was under $1, I know.
Wow.
And after, at the age of 18, I came to Corona, and I became the president of the youth here, and a Sunday school teacher for the children again. And from then on, I had all positions in the church, in the youth group, until the age of 21. That's when your dad came in the picture, and I gave him the presidency. Because I didn't think that a girl should be president.
Because there was no
There
boys.
was no boys in the church baptized. And for them to have that post, they had to be baptized. And there was plenty of girls baptized, but I don't know why I got that lucky one to be chosen. Thank God.
So you were the youth president, and you were the treasurer in
And-
Stockton. And before you came to Corona, you were the treasurer in Stockton, and then you were the youth president in Corona Church, and you were the treasurer again for the youth.
For the youth and secretary. I mean, I had all the posts here.
Okay, and then once you got married, did you get any more positions in the church?
After I got married, I was again the president for the Dorcas, and also I was a treasurer and secretary. But mostly they chose me as president.
Wow, because you're a good leader.
I sure hope that was the reason for it.
Okay. Dad, when you were living with your sister Carmen, what types of activities did you do? Or
Well, I was working. At first, I started working in the washing dishes in a restaurant, and then until I finally got a job at the bus depot. And so the bus depot at that time, I used to be number one because trucks would come, the buses would come, and back and forth. That was the main stop right there in Indio. And so then I got a job there, which I liked very much. And meantime, I was going to school too. So mostly I would work on Saturdays, Sundays at the bus depot.
and you said that you would get how much an hour?
I think it was 75 cents.
Oh, wow. So was that the minimum wage, or was
Minimum wage.
Was it? Wow. And did you go to school there? How old were you?
Yes, I went to school, to high school with girls, and Larry, my cuñado, told me take care of them, so I can keep an eye on them. So that's what I did. It was Francis and sister that was going to be with me on the bus to school, because the high school was in
Coachella.
it was not in Indio. The high school was in
Coachella.
Coachella, and they would have to take us on the bus. And so we had a lot of fun.
So that's why. Is that the reason why
Yeah.
Francis and sister wanted you to go?
And then I met a friend. His name was Chavez also, and the last name was, and he became a real good friend of mine because he liked Francis, but Francis did never.
So that's the reason why he became your best friend.
Yeah, and we were always together, me and him and Jim, and we would go to lunch together and all that.
And so, what made you leave Indio?
Well, my brother Jesse came over, and he had already invited me a couple of times, but he came over that year and told me that if I go with him, I could get a job over there. And so I said, well, yeah, but I'm still going to school. He said, well, you can go to school and work part-time. And that was at Chaffey High School in Ontario. And that's where I was going on my junior year.
So, but didn't you have a job over there? You had worked at the bus depot.
After the bus depot, I had to quit to go over there.
Oh, but so why did he want you to go get a job over there?
Because he said that over there I could get a job with him.
Oh, so he wanted you to work with him.
And then they paid more.
Oh.
So I said, okay. So I got my suitcase and I went with him.
And what did your nieces say? Because the ones that wanted you to
Well,
go.
they wanted me to go, but I had no choice. Because Larry, my brother-in-law, would tell me, when you guys go to the dance, he says, I want you to keep an eye on them. Don't let them go outside. I says, okay. And so I used to be the chaperone. They
Used to be the spy.
and we used to dance.
So they wanted you there for a reason.
Yeah.
So it was my Uncle Larry was okay with you to go over there because he
Yes,
was going to use you as
yeah.
a spy.
He loaned me his car to take him, different places. And so that's the way I learned how to drive too. That's what I did in the Chuck.
Oh, okay. So when you came to live with my Uncle Jesse, how was that?
It was nice, but I got into kind of trouble with the neighbors there that used to. His name is Joe also, the neighbor, and we went to school together and all that. They got in trouble, and then they would come and thinking that I was me, the one that, because we're both the same name. And I said, no, the other Joe lives next door. So the cops would go over there, and because they were troublemakers.
Oh.
And one day they stole a car from the, where they rent cars. Joe and his friend and the other guys, they stole a car and they drove around with that car all day long. And then they decided to go burn it so they wouldn't get evidence. So they burned in the vineyard, and those dummies, they burned the car and so I decided not to even talk to them anymore because they were just too
Were you
bad.
with them?
No, I wasn't there with that day. That day I wasn't with them.
These people were your friends? you
Yeah,
said?
and Joe and some other guys and Americanos.
Okay.
So
So then, what other friends did you have that were more positive
Chavez,
friends?
I met the Chavez, Henry Chavez and his sisters and all that, and we became real good friends. And that's the one that I used to bring to church because they got converted, all the girls and the boy.
Henry
here
Chavez.
in Corona.
Henry Chavez is not related to you.
No, they're not. This was another Chavez.
Oh.
So they got converted. We used to bring in my car all the Chang gang from over there.
And
I had a 51 Ford.
oh, a 51 Ford. You had a 51 Ford. Oh, okay. And where did you get baptized, and how old were you?
One day I got invited to go to the convention in Phoenix. It was going to be a youth convention. So I says, yeah, I'd like to go because I had friends there in Yuma when I used to go to church. And so I went over there, and the thing was packed. There was no seats to sit, and all the girls were dressed in white and their tunics, and that was a beautiful sight. And the church was big too, the one in Phoenix. And so we were outside talking and to the girls here, estaba ahí. And then pretty soon, before I knew it, I was at the altar because they were making an altar call. And that's where I decided to get baptized.
You said
And
this was
after me, it was Dolores and Apple and some other girls that I don't know. Well, there was 2 girls from Corona too. Those Tencha and Kani.
they were at the
both-
convention.
They got baptized, but I didn't know them at that time.
So the convention you said was in Phoenix?
In Phoenix,
Okay, it was a youth.
with a youth convention.
It was a New Year's Eve convention.
I think it was in '56. I think.
So
or
you got
57.
baptized on New Year's Eve.
Yes.
And how old were you?
Oh, I think I was 20. I think
Oh.
20 years old. I think I was.
Did before you got baptized? Well, your parents were from church, right?
Yeah, they were from church.
And did you?
Well, the first time when they came, they used to come and stay a month here in Ontario, and Tata and Nana, and Mon wasn't because he was in a school, so he wanted to come to church before they left back home. So Jesse says, "Well, let's go. There's no church in Ontario. Let's go over there to Corona. Would be the closest." So they brought us over here, and we tried to look for the church. And we couldn't find it. We spent about an hour looking for that church, and they would send us to this church, to that. No, that's not the one. Until I finally told that one guy, "Hey, do you know where the Hallelujahs go to church?" And he says, he thought about it, and then he said, "Well, there's a little church in Del Jardín. Maybe that's the one." And so I told Jesse, "Well, how do we get there?" "Just go through this street, River Road." And so then we went through there until we kept going and going, and I didn't see no jardín at all. I thought it was something, it was going to be beautiful.
Flowers.
And flowers and, trees. And no, I didn't see nothing but all little checks here and there. And then we finally found that building. He said, Apostolic Church. So that's the one. So we parked there, and then we went inside, and they were just starting church. And we sat down in the back. Nana and Tata sat in the chair before us, and we sat in the back, me and Jesse. And then, it was nice, their songs and all that. And then it was time for the special, so she got up and sang. And, she sang nice. She's wearing, I think, a orange hat, I think he was wearing. And so then I said to myself, boy, that's nice. And so we went home, went after church, and after church we were driving, and your Tata says, "Hey, how did you like church?" And I says, "It was nice." And that's when I told him, "But I like the girl that sang." and everybody started laughing.
Yeah.
And everybody was laughing.
So that was the first time you met
The
Mom?
first time
Or
I
saw
seen
her. You didn't really
Yeah,
meet
I
her.
see her the first time.
Okay. And did you go back anymore?
No, we didn't go back because, why was I going to be going over there,
Because you
I didn't know nobody.
Oh, and
And
Nana and
it's-
Tata.
No, they had gone back to Arizona.
Oh, I see.
Until I got baptized, then I went over there and came to church, and I introduced myself to the pastor. And it was Rudy. His name was Rudy. And so then he said, "We're going to have a meeting after church." So that's what we did. We had a meeting, and then that's when she gave me the president. She turned him to me.
She passed the baton.
Passed the presidential.
I said, praise God.
And then, and after that, well, we used to sing, went to different churches. That's what the main thing that I like, because in every 3 months we would study and then go sing in different churches. And we had Riverside, San Bernardino, Redlands, and Indio. We went to all those churches. But on different dates, different months, we would go each month to a church like that. Every 3 months to one church. And all the choir stuff, all the churches would sing. And so that's what I loved about that. And that's how Jesse got converted. Jesse Guerra, my best friend, got converted, and he would help me out. And then Johnny pretty soon got converted. And a lot
Johnny
of,
who?
Johnny Tapia. And then, but some other girls got converted too. Abigail and I don't know who else.
Sarah.
Yeah, it was several girls that got converted during that time, So it was a beautiful choir we had.
And when you took over the president of the youth group in Corona, you were the only boy baptized?
The only boy there. Everything was girls.
Baptized.
And so I felt kind of, until one day Jesse Guerra came to visit us with his family, they came. And so when I saw him, right away I said, that's the one I gotta go talk to. And so I went and talked to him, I told him I need somebody to help me be my assistant. And he said, well, yeah, I live in Cucamonga and blah, blah, blah. But he says, we'll try to come. And he started coming. And so that was from there. It was very nice.
Mm. Mm-hmm. And when you got baptized, and you came to live with Uncle Jesse, I don't remember. Did you say?
I was still there.
You were
Jesse.
still living with Jesse in Ontario.
Mm-hmm, in Ontario.
Okay. And did you have any other things that you did with there in Ontario with Jesse?
No, just work and go to school. And then pretty soon I quit school. I didn't finish because I was working, and then also I didn't have time,
You got a job in the aircraft.
And then I started working with Jesse. Where I worked was with Jesse in the aircraft. Would be Chino Aircraft right there.
The airport? Or?
Yeah, we worked at the airport. There was the contract was for from the Navy. The Navy, the Army and Navy.
Uh-huh.
We would work on the planes there.
What would you used to do?
We would the mechanics would take the plane apart, the body of the plane, and then they would soak them in this material, and we had to get the material. There was a crowd, not just myself. There was maybe about 10 people, 10 different people, and each you would get a part of the plane, and then you put this solution, and then you would take the corrosion out of it, out of the part of the plane,
To clean
And
it.
after that, they would take those parts and put them back together on the plane. Mm-hmm. And I took a picture on the airplane, like I was driving, but I don't know what became of that picture.
Pretty nice.
And Jesse used to be the shop steward there on the job.
What does that mean?
Like a foreman,
That's how you got a job.
That's how I got the job. And then he would be part with the union, had to do with it, because it was a union job. So if something went wrong, you would go to him, and he would try to help you if you had a problem or something.
Hmm.
So.
What about you, Mom? What work did you have? What type of jobs did you have? Like,
Well, when I came from Stockton, in Stockton I work in the canneries, I work in the packing sheds and field. But after that, all that, when I came to Corona, and I got a job at a factory called Jordan Tile. And I had just come for vacation for a week with Yoran Nacha, but she said, go look for a job here, because she really wanted us to come back. And she knew that if I came, my mom for sure would come. And so I said, oh, well, I'm going to go anyway. I'm not going to get a job. Well, I was very lucky. The first day I applied for the job, they hired me. And I worked
Tia Nacha must have been praying really hard.
I worked there for 14 years. And sure enough, after I got the job, then they start making plans, my mom and Petra, my sister, to come to Corona. And soon after that, about a year, they were here. And then Petra, my sister, got a job where I was working. But she didn't last very long. She didn't like it. But I stayed there 14 years.
But-
After that, well, during that time I met Joe, and I guess he was the lucky one for me because I married him. And I still worked there for about another 7 years. I have been there for about 7 years, and I worked there.
Why did you come from Stockton to Corona in the first place?
I just came to visit my sister Nacha. I just came in a visit.
Did you come to? Why did you come from Stockton to Corona in the first place?
Well, my sister Nacha went over there on vacation, and they invited me to come. I was already out of work. So I came with them, and then she wanted me to get a job here so that my mom and my sister could, for sure, will come over here. And so, like I said, I got a job. I didn't think I would, but I did. And a year after that I went to visit my mom and my sister up north. And all by myself, it was a good 8-hour drive. And I used to drive all the way by myself. I used to put a hat on my car and take off. And I used to make it in pretty good time.
What was the reason for the hat?
So they would think that somebody else was there with me. They wouldn't think that I was by myself.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty smart. And what kind of car did you own?
A 54 Ford.
Oh,
I think it must have been a police car.
why?
I don't know.
It's all
used to-
black.
It was black, and it used to make a loud noise.
So when you came to Corona, you said that my grandma and my aunt Pete followed shortly.
Yes. Then they decided to come, and we lived in Grant Avenue at my brother-in-law's house, and we lived there till after I got married. That's when I came to live here in this address that we live now. We've been here for the longest, so long, 62 years.
And tell me the story, either one of you. How did you guys finally meet each other? Because I know that my dad came to Corona Church when he was looking for a church for Nana and Tata to visit. But when he finally came to Corona Church, how did you guys actually meet?
Well, he said that he saw me and that he liked me. I didn't have eyes for him then. When he started coming more regular, I really didn't see much, didn't pay too much attention. I wasn't interested in anything then, seriously, with anybody. Because at that time, well, I had a boyfriend myself. I wasn't thinking about getting into another relationship.
Oh, was this boyfriend from the same church?
No, he didn't belong to the church, and that's the reason why nothing became of it.
Oh.
He used to belong to the Assemblies of God, but it had to be from our same religion, so that was it. So when he came in the picture, well, he was already baptized. What could I say?
What do you have to say about that, Dad, when you met Mom?
Well, I kept, talking to her and all that whenever I had a chance. But then when I got seriously, I talked to Jesse, my friend, of course, but his brother was there, Lencho, and we were in the backyard of his house, and I says, well, I'm thinking about asking Sister Lydia to be my girlfriend, and then Jesse said, yeah, that's nice, but then his brother says, oh no, I don't think she's gonna say yes to you, because she's hiding mighty, she's real stuck up, And I said, well,
mighty.
So I said, well, if she says no, hey, there's plenty of girls there. Well, I got a dozen girls there.
So
I
he
can ask
wasn't really
anybody.
interested, see?
But I had my eye on her. Because Jesse's sister, all the time that I go pick him up, she would sit next to me. And I didn't like that idea because I had my eye on her. And then I know she was going to say, well, how are you? And when she's there with you. But they tried to get me involved with her sister, Jessie, and was Tilly. Her name was Tilly. But no, I didn't have no eyes for her. So, and then the rest of the girls that were there, they were just crazy girls. And they would talk to me. One day, after we were novios, me and her, and I had my watch, and then she says, hey, Abigail, that was her name. She says, let me see your watch. And I said, no, take it off. So I took it off. And then she didn't want to give me the watch back because she wanted to go show it to her, to tell her that, look at what you gave me or whatever she said. And just to make her jealous. And I said, oh, that's Abigail. I said,
Hey, Mom, and what was that when she came to show you the watch?
No, she just told me that I wasn't going around with him at that time. He wanted to start courting me, but after she knew. So she showed me the watch. She said, oh, look what Joe gave me. That means that they were going together already. I said, well, really? And that's when he asked me. And then I said, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You're going around with that girl and you're asking me? And then he called her in front of me. And she said, oh, I was only playing, but yeah.
Oh, wow.
But
That's
I
a good
confronted
way to
the
call her
girl.
out, huh, Dad?
yeah, yes, done.
Yeah. Do you, what about when you first asked Mom when you guys were going to start dating, what did Mom tell you that you had to tell Grandma?
Oh, yeah. She told me her grandma was still living up north. Her mom was still living up north. So that day, that week, she came to see her, and she was here for a while. Then Lydia told me, you better tell Mom that we're going together because, and so I kept putting it off. And then at the last Sunday, she said, yeah, because we used to call each other on the phone all the time. And she says, well, Mom's going to be leaving tomorrow, she says, which was going to be Sunday. And I says, that's the last time you're going to be able to tell her. So I didn't know how to do it. And then it was raining. And I says, oh my gosh, what am I? And so I says, well, I've got no choice. So when they were going to leave, that's when I went, because I used to park next to her car. So when we were going to leave, I says, I went like that to the window, and then she opened the window. And I said, oh, I just wanted to tell you that I'm going around with your daughter, and I want you to know. So in case something comes up, you already know. And but it was raining, and she kept telling me, well, the do's and the don'ts. And oh, there she goes, blah, 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 blah. And it was raining hard.
She
I was
didn't say
getting
blah,
old.
blah, blah.
What were the do's and the don'ts?
Well, that I can't be with herself by herself, and that I have to have a chaperone, and that whatever I eat, different things like that. And so I just wanted her to hurry up. I wanted her to hurry up so I can get out of there. But then, and they didn't even tell me. Petra was in the back seat, and she should have opened the door and tell me, "Won't you come in? You're getting wet." No,
They wanted you to
Because
suffer.
I get wet.
and everybody in the car was looking at me.
And he was all wet.
Yeah, so then that was a horrible day. But I finally got through with that.
So, did Grandma afterwards? Did she was okay?
Yeah, she said okay,
Oh,
but
yeah, well, I had told him, I told him, you know, you have to ask permission, my mom, to come and visit me and to talk to me, and whatever she says, you have to abide by it. And that's when he stood there and he didn't know what to start saying, and in the meantime, the water was running all over him. And I didn't tell him to come in the car because my mom was there. My mom let him get wet. But she finally said, yeah, but you cannot be by yourselves, and you cannot take her anywhere by herself. You have to take a chaperone and this. And yeah, that's the these and the those that he says.
and then one day I told her if she wanted to go to Knott's Berry Farm with me, and she says, yeah, I think it was on a Saturday.
That's before I was his girlfriend. He invited me.
That was
to-
before. I don't remember
Before.
Anyway.
I had a boyfriend then.
Oh.
And before that, he invited me, and I didn't want to go. I really didn't want to go. And I says, my mom wasn't here. I was living with Nacha and Cheche. And I said, no, Cheche wouldn't let me go because he knows my mom's very strict. I'm going to ask him. And so I told Cheche, say no, I don't want to go. So we said, oh, sí, hermano, because he didn't like the other boy that I was going around with, and so he liked him. And so he let me go, but I had to take Andrea with me. I wouldn't go with anybody just by myself. And he wasn't even my boyfriend then. So when we got to Knott's Berry Farm, Andrea was with us. She was just a little girl, about 6 years old, 7. And so Joe tried to hold my hand, and then she comes between us and took his hand away and said, don't get her hand. What about Gabriel? Because he was but she knew.
Uh-huh.
And I said, oh, what about him? But he knew too that I had a boyfriend, but he still wanted.
Did you know Dad? Did she had a boyfriend?
No, not at
Yes,
that
you
time.
did, because when you went to Nacha's house, you turned his picture to the wall.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I remember that we went to visit them, and she had a picture of the piano, and like that. And so I says, well, who's this guy? Just
See, he said he knew.
So you did turn his picture. That's funny.
so
And so Grandma eventually liked my dad.
Yeah, she said, okay, but she liked the other boy because he was a very nice person, very respectful and everything, but he wasn't from their religion. And first he said, oh yes, he was going to get baptized and this and that. And at the last minute, he confessed to me that he was going to get baptized because of me. And I says, oh, no, don't do it for me, do it for yourself. And since it's not the reason you're going to do it, just forget about it. So he went his way, I went my way, and I never knew about him anymore.
And Dad, how did Nana and Tata take a liking for Mom?
oh, she liked them. She liked her because she used to write letters for my dad, letters to Mexico. She would be sometimes.
I was a secretary.
You were secretary there too.
No, he asked me one time, he says, hermanita, ¿me puede hacer una carta para una prima que tengo en México? Sí, con mucho gusto. Pues, I didn't know him, but I think he wanted us to get closer or something. I don't know. I know he did like me, my father-in-law. I don't know about my mother-in-law because mamas are more. Ask me, I know.
Mama Bear.
But I never had any problems with my mother-in-law. She was a wonderful person.
And when you guys finally got married, what was the date of when you got married?
The date.
Yeah, what was the?
I better speak up. Hold your
We
peace.
got married on June 25th, 1960.
How long did you guys get married? How long did you guys date before you married?
We dated 2.5 years.
And what was where did you get married at?
We got married in Corona in the church of my Aunt Epimenia. It was called the Assemblies of God. The reason we got married there was because our church was in construction.
And you guys were how old when you guys got married?
24.
24.
When you
24.
Any stories of when you guys first got married? Anything? Where did you guys live?
Oh, well, there was some stories. When we got married, your dad, because Grandma wouldn't let us be by ourselves anywhere, she was always with us because your Aunt Petra already got married. And so your dad says, is your mom going to go with us on our honeymoon? I says, I don't know, ask her. Oh, no. She would have said yes. So we took off to our honeymoon for a week to Rosarito.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when you guys came back from Rosarito, where did you guys live in an apartment? Did you guys go to a
Yes,
house?
we already had rented a little apartment. It was very, very small in front of the park, which now there's huge apartment that they built there, but it was just a little check when we rented there. And we stayed there for about 3 months.
Mm-hmm. $50 something.
They were charging us $50. $50 at that time was a lot of money. And so we could not afford to pay for the house where my in-laws were living because he was paying for that. And luckily that my mom was living at Cheche's house and he didn't charge her anything to live there.
I think we missed a part. How did Nana and Tata come to Corona?
Well, because of the weather over there, it's too hot, and the doctor gave him a letter that for him would be better if he could move with me over here. So that's what they did, and one wasn't with them. One was in a private school, so they came over, and we were living on her sister's trailer. Her aunt's trailer. She rented it. And that's what me and your grandma and grandpa and myself were living there.
This was before you knew her or after you knew her?
Her aunt.
Yeah, but did you know my mom at that time?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
El Nino Man used to say, 54 is coming. He would be the bodyguard.
They named you 54, Mom?
54.
They called my car was a 54. And not to say my name, she said that 54.
Oh, it was like a code.
He was a spy.
Yeah,
a friend of his.
He was a very good friend of mine, Nino. I got him a job in the spark plugs.
And he used to tell her after we were married, when I die, Nino Man, you can take over my 54. And he passed away, thank God, before. He was
a real nice guy. He didn't have everything here. Yeah, and then I got him a job at the spark plugs, and we have some of the girls worked at the spark plug. Andrea, Celia, and Nacha, and I don't know who else. That was Mary Ann,
Stella.
So they got, and even Margaret worked there.
My Aunt Margaret and my Aunt Stella?
No, not Stella, just Margaret.
He got him a job.
Yeah, they worked there, so we had a good time. They were always laughing and, talking about church and stuff like that.
So when how did you buy this house here since you were renting?
Because when I told your tata that maybe we should buy a house, it'd be cheaper, you know. That way we know that we're paying for it. Someday it'll be ours, and instead of just paying rent. So he said, well, let me see if we can sell the house over there. So Margaret put a sign, and but 6 months later, something like that, they sold the house. So then with that money that he sold the house, we bought this house, the front one. And it cost me, what, $8,000?
This property cost him $8,500.
Yeah, the house with the front.
The house in the front.
So that's what we were paying. When I got married, that was the... But Nana didn't want...
No,
Yeah.
mijo. They gave your dad $500. That's what he gave you for the down payment.
Yeah. But
and
I'm
then
going
from then
to-
on, he was paying the house. And when I married him, then we were paying the house together.
Mhm.
How much were you guys earning at your jobs at the time?
Ni me acuerdo.
I used to make pretty good money because the job I did was piecework. Piecework is that they give you so much work to be done, and if you make more than that, and I used to double my quotas, so I used to double the money. So I used to make good money. I used to make more than your dad.
Yeah.
Piecework on like what? Like what were you?
Like a quota, they used to put a quota like you're gonna make 150 trays, and I used to make 300 trays.
What were you doing though?
We were working in tile factory,
Oh,
making designs for bathrooms or everything that's concerning tile.
so you were really quick.
Oh yeah, didn't you hear your Aunt Petra say that I was fast with my hands there, and I used to make good money. And yeah, so thank God that the Lord provided this house for $8,500, and I started saving because he had a first and a second mortgage to be able to, and the second mortgage was
70.
$2,000 that we owned the lady. We used to pay $17 a month, and the lady that gave him the second mortgage told him, "You're gonna finish paying me in I don't know how many years." And I told him, "No, we're not gonna finish that long. We're gonna finish fast." So I started saving money, and in a year, we had our $2,000. We're gonna give it to her, and she was surprised. She gave him a letter of recommendation that whatever he needs,
Yeah. Era un American.
So how long did you guys stay in that apartment?
Oh.
months.
3 months.
Mhm.
And the apartment was located here in Corona,
On
Across
6th
the
Street, 6th Street, across the park.
the Corona Park.
Yeah.
And so 3 months, and then you decided to come over
Mhm.
here.
We had a double garage here. And that's
Jesse made a apartment here for us, a 1-bedroom apartment. But then Steve was born, and then Benny was born, and then the house wasn't big enough for 4 of us, and then Joel was on the way, so we needed a bigger house, and that's when we had this house built.
Oh. And so you guys were living in that little apartment
Garage.
in the
Garage.
But we have to knock it down in order to do this house.
Oh, is that the rule for the
Yeah,
city?
over here was like a big barn, because all these places around here were just like barns, like a ranch.
Mm. And then, so when did you start? When you had your first child, Steve, you had Steve like shortly after,
Oh yes,
and
we had Steve when I was 25, and then Benny 2.5 years later, and Joel too. When Joel was born, that's when we had this house built. So this house is as old as Joel.
Joel. Uh-huh.
So you started building it, or you had it? It was finished already when he was born.
They gave us this house the day that I went to the hospital to have Joel. When we came back from the hospital, we came to live in this house.
Oh, so it was brand new.
Brand new.
Lucky Joel.
Going back to when we were dating, I remember that I bought one of those little, so we still have it, that little skunk.
Oh,
and I
yeah,
put it
tell
in
us
a
about
little
that.
bag, and I says, "Yeah, I brought you something," and she thought it was donuts.
He bought a little thing. It was a little skunk made of ceramic, and he put it on a donut bag and brought it to me in church. And then he says, "Oh, look what I brought you." So I told Petra, "We're going to have some donuts with chocolate when we get home." And I opened that, there was a little skunk. And I thought, "Oh, brother."
What was that about, Dad? Were you
It was
just being a jokester?
Something that I saw, I thought it was cute, and I says, "I'm gonna give it to her."
You know your dad, I was being silly. Then one day he brought me on a Sunday, a big grape branch with a big green worm. And I looked at him. Luckily he didn't bring me a mouse, so I would have thrown it in his face and say goodbye.
Yeah,
So you were just trying to,
you know,
to be
that's
silly.
just joking.
Yeah.
That's your dad.
So how was your experience when you had Steve? Like, why did you even name him Steve?
Well, I named him Steve because I always heard the story about Steve in the Bible, the murderer. And I said, "Oh, I want my son to be like him." So I don't know why I knew it was going to be a boy. I really don't know. But he was a boy. And we named him Steve. But he was not a martyr. He was a martirio for us.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Why do you say that?
Well, he was very active. Ever since he was born, he was very active. He was about 3 months old. 3 months. And he was laying down in the sofa with Joe. And he jumped out of the sofa, and your dad just stayed looking. I said, "Pick him up!" But he was terrible. He started walking at 7 months and talking clearly. He was terrible. I took him to the doctor when he was about 9 months, and I told him, "What am I going to do with this kid? Is he normal?" Because he talks a lot, and he's very active, and he says, "Oh no, he's very healthy." So he used to put Steven on his shoulders, and Steve used to hit his head. "How come you don't have no hair?" He was terrible. But he was, everybody liked him.
Go ahead, tell us more stories about Steve. Go ahead and tell us more stories about Steve.
Well, when he was little, when he was barely born, and we brought him home, my mother used to babysit for us because your dad and I were working. And Grandma, she took over. But as soon as he got home, she took over. She will not let your dad hold him or touch him because lo iba a embrasilar. And so she had him in her arms all the time, washing dishes, doing everything with him. And so your dad finally said, "¿Y tu mamá no lo va a embrasilar?" I said, "Don't worry, when she goes home, you can take care of him." But as he was growing up, like I said, he was very active and travieso. So when he started walking at 7 months, so he was about 2 or 3 years old when he took off. There was no fence in the yard, and so he took off, and my mother was supposedly been washing him. But she got talking with my mother-in-law, and so he took off, and so she was so scared because she couldn't find him. So she went to the school down the street. There was a school there, and she went over there and talked to the principal and says, "Did you see a boy, a little boy here? And what grade is he in?" "No, he doesn't go to school yet, but he just took off." "Oh, well, if he doesn't go to school, he's not here." So then she turned around across the street, and there he was with another kid playing. And so she went and got him and says, "Come on." So he came. And when they got home, she cut off a branch of one of the trees, and he said, "Lay down in your belly, because I've told you not to be going anywhere, and you did it." So he lay down, and she whipped him, and it was fine with him. So then my father-in-law decided to tie him with a rope, so about 25 feet long, the rope, so he wouldn't go anywhere. But that didn't last long, because as soon as he got ready, he would just stick his stomach in, get out of the rope, and take off. He was really
Oh,
something.
yeah, that kid.
Wow. So when he took off to up the street, right? Was it Kimball Elementary?
Yes.
And okay, so you guys knew the principal very well.
Mr. Mahoney Gibson.
Mr. Mahoney knew your family before. He knew about Steve before he even went to school
Before
there.
he even went to school, yes.
Okay. How about when you were found out that you were going to be pregnant with Benny? Well, any
Oh, no. I didn't know I was pregnant with Benny. I think that day I had made something with cabbage, a soup or something, I don't remember. But I wasn't feeling too good. And so your dad thought that estaba empachada. And so we went to see my father-in-law, and because he knew how to sobar el empacho. So as soon as he touched my stomach, he said, "Oh, no, hermanita, esto no es empacho. Este es un repollo con patas." And I said, "Oh my God." And sure enough, he estaba esperando al Benny.
And what made you name him Benny or Benjamin?
Well, I used to read the stories when I was a Sunday school teacher to the kids about Joseph and Benjamin, the story of Jacob. And I don't know, I just like the names that he and Joseph were the sons of Rachel, and that she was the favorite of Jacob. So I just named him Benjamin.
Is there any other stories about Benny? Did like when he was little, was he travieso too, or?
Well, let's say that he started following Steve's footsteps since he was little. But I didn't think he would grow up and still follow him, but he did, because we found out afterwards when he started going to school that he was deaf. And the doctor never told me that he was deaf. He didn't know. And I took him when he was going to start school to the doctor, same doctor. And he said, "I don't know what's wrong with you. First you bring me the oldest because he's so
Active.
and now you're worried about this one." And I said, "Well, yeah. And I want to know if it's okay to start school." "Oh, yes, he's fine. He's healthy." But he wasn't, because in school, that's when they told me that he was deaf. So he started going to the deaf school for first grade.
And when he was here at the house, you didn't notice that he couldn't hear?
No, I didn't notice, because he always listened when I called him. But they say that deaf people, they get used to the sounds of the house and stuff, and they can. So he was. When I called him, he would come.
Oh. Okay, so didn't you also say that Benny could read lips too, right? That's
Yes,
reason?
I imagine he read lips because he used to watch me all the time, but I never noticed that he was watching me and me master to read my lips.
Well, I remember a story you had said to us about Benny saying that as far as I remember, that you had said that he got in trouble with you because I remember it a different way, that he didn't listen when you would call him, that he wouldn't respond, and then you thought he was just being defiant, and then you didn't find out until later when he went to school. That's when you found out that the teachers were also noticing the same thing, and that's when they told you about that to get him checked, and that's when you found out that he couldn't hear. That's how I remember it.
Maybe that's the way it was, but I don't remember.
Okay, what about Joel? Why did you name Joel his name?
I named him Joel because in the Bible says that he's a Jew. And he is a Jew. He is a good boy. He's always been ever since he was a little boy, he was not trouble at all. He was a little angel. Even Celia, my niece that lived here with me for about 5 years, she used to take care of him because he was a good boy. He was never any trouble. Now the other two used to get him in trouble. But he's always been a good boy. And up to now, he's the very best.
And Dad, do you have any stories of Joel with Tata?
Oh, yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, Joel, yes, like I said, he was a very good boy. He hardly ever complained about anything. And one day I remember that he went to school and he was over there playing on the monkey bars, which I had told him, don't get on the monkey bars. But he did. So he fell off the monkey bars and broke his arm. But when they called me from the school to go pick him up, to take him to the doctor, and I took him, and he was very quiet in the car. He didn't cry, he didn't complain that he had pain or nothing. I know he was in pain, but because I had told him not to get on the monkey bars, he didn't cry. So after they took an X-ray at the hospital and everything, we found out that his arm was broken. And I felt so bad for him, but I had already told him not to get on the monkey bars. And that's about the only story that I can remember him.
What about the shot one?
Oh, yes. When he was smaller than that, he hadn't even started school. My sister and other people, we used to get our kids together to take them to the baby clinic to get their shots. And Joel was the smallest one of all the ones that we used to take, around 8 kids. And he was the smallest one. And he was always in the first, he was the very first one we put in the front. And I don't know how I always ended on the end. He was always the last one because he used to move back. He was afraid of shots. But he eventually made it, and he even puts shots.
Mm-hmm. Now.
Now that he is old.
Dad, do you have any stories of Joel?
Oh, well, he used to, when Lydia would go shopping with grandma and my mom, and your tata used to stay by himself, so he would come over here to talk to us, to talk to me. So I used to tell Joel, go get your tata. So he would go, hey, there he's coming. So he would go and open the door and bring him by the hand down, sit him down, and he was good at that. And he always had that little thing, that donut that your mom used to make for him. He looked kind of funny.
A waterfall?
Then,
Was it a little waterfall?
like a waterfall.
Like a
something
little
like
waterfall. I used to put it together because his hair was long.
That. Mm-hmm.
And tell us a story did you want another boy on your third child?
Yeah, well, I wanted I wanted a girl, but pues ni modos.
Is that the reason? Is that the real reason for the bun?
Dios nos mandó otro boy, so ni modos.
Yes, when he found out it was it's another boy. I said, well, it's my boy, and he still is my boy.
And then when you came, that's a different story. When we took you to Kaiser when your mom was expecting you, and we walked around there so she can get ready to go to labor, and when they finally went in and they got her and all that, then you was born, and they said, it's a girl, and I didn't think, I says, I have to see it. We already had three boys, another boy.
He could not see it because he was outside of the hospital throwing up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I got sick that day too.
Oh, why was he throwing up?
I don't know.
Because you were a girl. He was having the feelings after the fact.
Uh-huh.
Morning sickness after the fact.
After the fact.
The nurses had you all over the Kaiser, big showing you off.
When you were born, Mika, there was raining babies on that hospital. And I was the number, I don't know what, in the hallway because all the rooms were filled. So when you were born, you had so much hair and you were so beautiful. The nurses just had you all over the hospital showing you off. And usually at Kaiser, they used to take the babies to the mother's room. But I never got to see you in almost a week that I was in the hospital, and because I had surgery after you were born. And so I told them, well, I think I had a baby. Isn't that what I came for? And said, yes. Well, I haven't seen it. I said, well, you have to go to the nursery. I couldn't get off the bed. So one of the nurses felt sorry for me and took me on a wheelchair. And then I kept looking on the hallway. Well, they had I could only see a black head with a ribbon. And I said, I wonder whose baby that is, because they were showing it off. And we got to the nursery and no baby, but mine, a lot of babies, but not mine. So you were the one they were showing off all over the place. So that made me very proud.
Oh, the other babies, did they have hair?
Most of them were bald-headed.
Los Americanos.
And there was even, like I said, it was raining outside, rain, and raining babies inside the hospital.
Oh, it was raining that day? Oh, I thought, I looked it up. I thought it was was it hot?
No, it wasn't hot. It was in January.
Oh, I thought I looked it up. I thought it was
Yeah. And only that your dad was out there in the hallway throwing up after the fact.
And why did you name me Joanna?
I named you Joanna because I didn't name any of the boys after your dad, Joe, and I know he was feeling sorry for himself.
Aye.
So then I said, well, and he told me, if we have a little girl, her name's gonna be Anna. I said, okay. So when we got there, I said, Joe, Anna. So that's why we named you Joe for your dad, and Anna because he wanted Anna.
Oh.
So,
And I thought Joel was named after Dad too, because
no, Joel's his name's Joel. He is not Joe. No, he's Joel.
Okay. Okay, so is there any other stories about any of your kids that you missed?
Well, the only thing that I forgot to say that when we got home from the hospital, since like I said I had surgery, when I got home, you were the news. So everybody was waiting for you, the kids and Celia and your grandma, your tia Nacha, your dad. Your dad was with me because he went and picked me up, but he didn't get to hold you. So when we got here, everybody wanted to hold you. And I said, oh boy. So I still remember that I didn't take care of you for almost a month because everybody was taking care of you. Even your tia Gloria was so excited. She came and fixed the room that after a month when I went in the room, I got scared. Am I in the right house? Because I had fixed the room for a little girl.
Did you have any stories? I thought my dad said he wanted to talk about, or you wanted to talk about something else.
No, she practically said everything.
Okay.
But he didn't say at that time that you got mad because she threw water at you outside when you were already big.
Yeah, when you used to be in a lot of weddings, when you was little, and I remember you said, I don't want to be in no more weddings.
I don't want to get married anymore.
Because you was te estaba acompañando el de.
Everybody that was getting married would ask me if you could be in the wedding, and I couldn't say no. So you got tired and you said, I don't want to get married anymore. So I said, that's it. No more marriage for Joanna.
You and ¿cómo se llama? El de la Carmen.
Yeah, you told me, I already married one time. Why do I have to marry so many times? Because you married the first time with Marky Luna.
Marky Luna, yeah.
Did you? I know that there was a story that you were talking about of Steve that I didn't hear you say when he was little, and then he went to when you used to go to church, and they always wanted to babysit him.
Remember?
About Steve.
Nos sentamos allá atrás. And then
Is that the Wednesday when?
Well, you guys got a lot of stories of Steve, but
yes.
That's how we went to church one day on a Sunday, and hermana Camacho was sitting in front. She was wearing a
fur coat.
A fur coat.
Yeah,
and he kept
wanting to grab the fur
it and all that.
And then she turned around because we kicked them to quit, and then she turned around and he said, pues quiero tentarle el peludo a la hermana Camacho.
Eso diga, déjalo que lo
te siento el peludo.
Ay, that Esteban was something else.
He was something else.
Was that the pastor's wife, or was that?
No,
it was just one of the oldest ladies there.
El hermano Benito se llamaba, él los traía fruits, vegetables, él. All that time, a tu nana.
Oh, what about the story when you used to drop him off?
When my friend used to babysit for us?
Yeah, Virginia.
Well, I never asked them to babysit, but my friend had 2 daughters, and they knew Steve since he was born. So, like I said, he started walking at 7 months and talk. And so they used to call me, leave Stevie here, we'll take care of him when you go to church. But we used to pass through their house, and so I really didn't want to, but I stopped and leave him there. And so he was terrible. He used to get there, and it was a terror. He would get into the girls' rooms and make a mess with all their stuff, and then when they used to holler at him and come to hit him, he will run and say, Fernando, me quieren pegar las muchachas. And so then the father would say, you wanted him, you leave him alone, don't touch him. So, but he was a little terror.
Yeah. Fernando.
Yeah, so he was, what type of things was he doing to the rooms?
Well, he would get their makeup and their things that girls do. We didn't do that at home, but I think that's probably why he used to go and get all the stuff, because he didn't see it in the house. He will take their powder and their lipstick and all their stuff and make a mess in there.
And then they would, the girls here from Stella, Luisa, cuando Luciana dressed up like a girl.
They used to dress him like a girl.
Y ahí estaban a risa de él. Y hasta ya le andaba a pedir al baño. La Nancy, I think it was that.
Nancy will always never made it to the bathroom, and he used to get mad. She's the one that used to dress him like a girl. Te carajito.
And how did Steve used to act when they used to dress him up like that?
travieso.
How did he act when he was dressed up like that?
Pues,
He ate
simple.
silly. He would put his hands and put his head and his purse.
They would put him with everything.
They would dress him up with a head, purse, and everything.
And they would tell him how to walk and all that, and he
Yeah.
would.
Yes.
He walked all by himself like that.
So he was a clown since
Yeah,
then.
he was been a clown since then.
Yeah, clown. He's always been a clown.
All right. Okay, so I also want to know if there is like any funny vacation stories when we were growing up, or
Yeah, we can say about when we went camping over there, Sequoia, and that in the morning I woke up because I heard some noise, and looked through the window and it says, "Oh, Rogelia is already making coffee. Good." Y resulta que it was a big bear. He was taking the sugar and whatever we had down there.
Nanny.
Yeah, and then they took off the bear, and then
There was the mama bear and the
And
baby bear. And
uh-huh.
one of them was taking the sugar, the other one was taking the mayonnaise. In the meantime, the squirrels were taking the potatoes. So they left us without breakfast.
The squirrels were involved with the bear activity.
They were we were in Sequoia.
Mhm. But it was
Yeah,
funny
but
because
another time when we were in Yosemite, after dinner, after we had dinner and everything, and we always used to take kids along with us. We didn't have enough. I had 4 of mine, and my friend Carmen had 4 of them. She used to invite kids, and I used to take kids, so we used to have a bunch of kids. And so that time after dinner, I think some of the kids were in the bathroom or in the tent, and I was washing the dishes. And then I looked through the corner of my eye, something coming, big. And I turned around, it was a big bear coming this way, and me right there by, and I started walking backwards to the mobile. And I got in there, and it was a camper. And after I got in there, I started hollering, "A bear, a bear!" But I didn't holler before that. And so everybody came out to watch the bear. He just passed by running.
yeah,
Believe me,
the
it
Richard
wasn't
got a
funny.
little hatchet, and a spotlight.
Yeah, then
Ay, ay,
the men and the kids
Yeah, it was
went after
something
him
else.
with little hatchets this big.
And then we used to play baseball up there. Remember, and I remember that playing baseball with all the kids. And every time I would hit the ball, I don't know why I started laughing and laughing and running to first base. Yeah, it was nice. We had a lot of good times.
A lot of good memories over there, and the water was really
Lot of
cold with the nice
memories.
waterfalls.
And the water was so good, I couldn't stop drinking water. The water was cold, but it was delicious. I would get it with my hand like that.
You also had there was a lot of families there, like the
Oh, yeah,
Alvarezes.
I remember we would go on that bus at night, that two-story bus, and se subíamos y nos llevaban por todo alrededor del camp. It was nice. Beautiful.
But one day, I don't know for what reason, Joanna was little,
Mhm.
and she was crying, and I didn't know what was. She was never a cry baby, and I don't know why she was crying, and so one of Carmen's brother, he was there too. His name's Vicente Alvarez. He
Oh.
got mad and he said, "Bring me that girl." And he picked her up and dumped her in the water, and no more crying. I think that was the first time that Joanna got baptized. and she was calm since then.
Did he say in the
Yeah.
name of Jesus?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Echaron
dumped in there.
the-
And then I guess after when she was about around 10 years old, she got baptized for the second time in Santo Domingo. Mark he baptized her.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you want to share? Any?
No, just say that we're happy to have all the kids, and now we can see our grandkids. And when Jacob was born, of course, we were crazy about him. We used to babysit him since he was a little baby, and there's his picture in the wall.
So
Jacob, we babysit the other grandkids, but not as long as we babysit Jacob. Because Jacob was our baby from day one. When his mama went to work, he was ours at home. And he was all over the place. He was a baby, a very happy baby, and I used to sing to him.
Y lo bañabas.
I used to bathe him and sing to him, and he was very active.
Y luego cuando le cantaste.
Yes. I used to sing to him when I was giving him a bath one time, and I was singing, allá en la fuente había un chorrito que se hacía grande y se hacía chiquita, and before I knew it, he poured his chorrito
Through the window.
and I said, oh my God, he's really went to the fuente.
Yeah.
But he was a good baby. He gave
then
us a
when we
lot of
goes to-
joy, and
When we went shopping también, remember?
as he was growing up, well, his grandpa used to take him to all the stores that have little cars and merry-go-rounds and stuff, and he liked it. Everywhere we took him, he was getting everything. And then if he liked one game, he would point his little finger right there, put the money in there. And so Grandpa would put all the quarters he had until there was no more. He asked me, do you have any more quarters? No? Let's go.
And then we took him a picture on a horse también in one of the stores. A real horse. And then le pusieron el hat and everything. And so we had good times.
So-
Yep, and the other kids, we kind of babysitted them,
Yeah.
but not as much as this one because I don't know
Yeah,
why.
because you had him here at the house. That's why los otros, pues, nomás lo miramos cuando nos traían. Los traían.
You babysit Tiffany too, didn't you?
Part of the time because your mother-in-law used to babysit her.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So
What if-
it was fun.
What about your eldest granddaughter?
We had her here for a week, I think, or two, but supposedly Joanna was going to take care of them. And one of the times, my oldest granddaughter, Christina, she was already big. She was about 3 years or 4 years old, and I knew she used to go to the bathroom by herself. But that time she climbed on top of the dining room chair, and then she says, she peed on the chair, and after that, she had a big puddle. She says, Grandma, bathroom, Grandma. And I said, bathroom, you already did it?
That was Christina.
That was Christina.
And
And then when Jonathan, we babysit Jonathan too with ¿cómo se llama? La de esta. La
Leah.
Leah.
With
There was
Leah.
always fighting, those two. Always fighting.
And Jonathan used to say, Grandpa, Leah. What did he say?
Leah.
Look at Leah. And then I used to say, give her a hug. Because he used to give
Go
her a hug.
did karate chops.
Ajá, le decía chap.
Yeah.
You took care of Leah for a while too,
Yeah.
though.
Oh, we took care of Leah for, almost 5 years.
I remember too with
I used to take her to the school and to Loma Linda, to therapy and all that, yeah.
You used to take her to the school over here in Norco. What you guys used to call it?
Yeah. No, Steve
Yeah,
used
the
to
little-
call,
the little
no,
school.
Stevie used to call that one where I first took him when we were small, that chicken school.
No,
No, but
Leah
wasn't
también,
Leah
Leah
used to
too.
call that one the chicken
Esta-
school too for some reason?
Who was it? Mary Helen would take her kids there, and then they would pick up Leah and take her too.
No, I took Leah here in Norco. There was not a chicken school. The chicken school was in Home
Yeah.
Gardens.
No, that was over there in North, that little church there. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of memories of all the kids.
Uh-huh. But there was something.
d-
Okay, now what?
Okay, you were gonna talk about,
Leah, what?
yeah, you were talking about Leah.
Oh, yeah, Leah used to give us a lot of headaches. And then when we used to go to church, remember, we had to take her. We had to take her, and ya hasta que
She was a very smart little girl. She used to learn everything and all the church songs, but she was terrible. I mean, I cannot say that she wasn't. She was smart and terrible. Just like Steve. Runs in the family.
And she used to come and play with Martha's kid, Amy.
Amy used to come and play with her, and Jonathan was little, like they were almost the same age, all three of them. And Amy, she was a good little girl. She used to sit down and play church, and she would start talking in tongues, and Leah will bang and bang and bang. And then she used to hit Jonathan, and Jonathan said, Leah! But it's part of growing.
Part of growing up. Yeah.
Do you have any stories about Celia?
Oh, Celia, yes. Like I said, when we got home, when you were born, Celia took over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were the daughter of hers, and up to now, she still says
She
you're her
did
daughter,
also.
so it's okay. I let her have it for a little bit.
Yeah. One day, talking about Celia, one day that we were working in the spark plugs, the Celia, and I used to take her with me. So one day in the morning, she wouldn't get up, and it was already getting late. And so I went and knocked at the door, and I don't know what she must have been dreaming. She wanted to broke the window, trying to get out.
She broke the window.
No, not almost.
She wanted to go through the window because she thought
That somebody was
she
waiting.
must have been dreaming that she was late for work.
Or something.
And she was going to get out through the window. I
Yeah,
don't
and I
know.
said, Celia, it's late already. No vas a ir. And I said, yeah, mister, I voy.
She would call you Mister.
Mister.
And how did she call you?
Salvatierre también me decía mister.
How did Celia call you?
Lily.
Lily. And Mister to Dad.
Mister me decía ella y el Salvatierre. One day before Celia was talking about her, cuando Salvatierre comenzó a hacer la day, he called me up y me dijo que este es Salvatierre, so. So I said, yeah. And then he said, I want to tell you that I want to start visiting Lady hasta
Now I'm looking for a girl
se name
that
Celia.
lives in your house. And
Se llama Celia, algo así, ¿no? And se le dije yo, well, I'm not advertising her. Oye. Y pues, well, that was the truth. I mean, I don't know how he found out about her through Marta, probably. Marta Aguilar. And it was funny.
As a family, when we used to play games together here, how was Celia? How did she play?
Oh, Celia was something else, like Rosie.
Like Rose.
We always have to have somebody doing tricks in the games. And Celia, we used to play Chinese checkers with her, and she would grab a marble and go up, and then she says, "Oh no, I'm not gonna move this." So she only moved one step and leave it there, and then move another. Ay, wait a minute, you're making two moves. We used to catch her a lot of times cheating.
Yeah. But their parents were real nice. The parents that Celia, She bought us, they bought us our wedding ring.
Celia was a great pleasure to have here with us. She was a blessing.
Any words of wisdom?
Well,
Like
what?
Anything you want to say?
Well, that, we all go through a lot of things, good and bad with our children, but if we're faithful to the Lord and put them in the Lord's hands, we don't have to worry about, you don't have to worry about it. You put them in the Lord's hands and He will take care of everything because He's under control.
Yes.
He controls everything. You just put him in His hands and He'll take care of it.
What other vacations did you take?
Well, when we retired from work, which has been almost 30 years, we took many cruises. Some of them were short cruises and some of them were long cruises. And we enjoyed all of them. The first cruise we took was a 3-day here to Baja. And then we went to Alaska. That was one of the long cruises. And on that cruise, we had a lot of fun. We didn't know what was going to happen along the way. And the sea got kind of rough. And we were playing bingo in the boat. And the guy that was calling the numbers, he was going one way and we were going the other way. And it was like that, and man, I thought we was gonna get sick in our stomach, but we were just following the guy, and I guess he was following us. Anyway, at the end of the game, and the sea calmed down, I won the bingo. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
anyway,
How much did you win?
$175.
Oh, wow.
That was a lot.
at that time.
And then we went to different cruises. We went to the Panama Canal. We went to Boston. We went to Baja a few times. And I just can't remember the names of the places that we went.
Éramos 3 couples.
Yes, my
We're
sister
always
and my sister-in-law and their husbands. We used to go together to all these trips, and we used to have a lot of fun together. And even my best friend Carmen and her husband Richard, we had a couple of trips together, cruises, and we just really enjoyed it. I mean, we really didn't lack nothing. We did whatever we wanted to do, and then some.
So when you would travel, you traveled with, you were saying your sister-in-law was my Aunt Gloria, and my Uncle Frank,
Yes.
and your sister, my Aunt Nacha,
Mm-hmm.
and Uncle Cheche.
Yeah.
And so you guys, and Carmen, so I know that you guys traveled together as couples like that
Yes.
after, okay, so after everybody emptied the nest.
Yes, we were all retired people, and nobody to tell us what to do, so we took off. All our kids were married and took care of their own selves.
Having fun.
Enjoy yourself.
You guys went to Hawaii as well, right?
We went to Hawaii a
Remember
couple of
when you
times.
Lee went with us?
And
Hawaii.
you've also gone to Laughlin too.
And we went to New York. We went to Florida. We went to a lot of different places.
There was one trip that I was going to mention
Washington.
When,
we went to Washington.
that when we went to where the little guy comes out, the plane.
Oh, but that's here.
That's here. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that there's like a little jungle there, the white river and the jungle, And we were walking through it, and then I had my camera going, and that I saw Marcos. He sat down. I guess he was tired. He was sitting down there by the river and the trees and everything. And then so I put my camera. I'm gonna interview you, okay? So you answer what I'm gonna ask you. So I put the camera and dije, oiga, le dije, ¿usted le gusta filmar? ¿Usted ha estado en...? Oh, sí, dice, yo he estado en varios lugares. Y le dije, ¿y cuándo va a ser una película de aquí? Ay, dice, pues tengo que pensarlo, a ver cuándo me pongo de acuerdo para hacer una película aquí. And that's recorded in my video somewhere. But I recorded that. I
Yeah.
remember that. It was funny. I don't know if he still remembers that.
So he was playing the part
Yeah, yeah.
as an actor.
He was an actor.
And you have some stories there to tell too?
No, well, we went through the same stories. When we went to, what's the name of that lake that we went to?
I'm gonna put
Silverwood.
my shoes. It's gonna be tiny.
Silverwood Lake, where,
You guys were the youth leaders, right, or the youth counselors?
oh yes, when we got congregated at Arlington Church for 14 years, and we were lucky enough to get to call the youth counselors. And I thought it was gonna be a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work. A lot of things that we had to be after the youth. And if you think that then the youth was something to take care of you, I don't know, now it's worse. I don't wanna be counselor nowadays. But it was a lot of fun. We took the kids everywhere and we went with them everywhere they went. I think they enjoyed themselves too.
Yes, and you took us to
Magic
Magic
Mountain.
Mountain and to the parks, and we had different activities at right here at the Brentwood Park here in Corona.
And in Riverside Park, you guys played volleyball and we had fun, I think.
And lots of games here at the house,
Mhm.
different parties and celebrations together and at the church as well. And also, did we cook at the church with you?
Yes. Yes, you people used to have turns cooking in the kitchen, but I was always there to see what was going on.
You used to help
Cooking.
with the cooking. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,